thanks for joining me again for some Hatha Yoga with Liz. So we're going to start off today with some preparatory stretches. If you'd like to do more of a dynamic warm-up first of all, please feel free to pause the video and have a dynamic warm-up first of all. We're going to start off with our feet comfortably close together, and we're just going to breathe in, opening up our chest to the ceiling, only taking your head and neck back if your neck is strong. Breathe out, hug the air forward, cross at the wrist, drop your head. Breathe in. And exhale. And exhale. Then shrug the shoulders up to the ears, relax them back and down. We're going to breathe both our arms up besides our heads if we can. Reach through those fingertips to the ceiling. Breathe in to prepare. Drop the arm on the right hand side, bend the knees. Breathe out and stretch, really reaching over, stretching up out of your hip. Breathe both the arms back up to centre. Reach through those fingertips. Drop the arm on the left hand side, bend the knees, breathe out and stretch. Breathe both the arms back up and bring them down and circle the shoulders. You're going to just bring the hands in, interlink your hands, bring them in close to your chest. And as you breathe out, turn those hands, push them away. Bring the arms up overhead. Bend the knees, breathe out, over to the side. Breathe back to centre, bend the knees, breathe out, over to the other side. Breathe back to centre. Continue with those, we're going to make that more of a dynamic movement. Going to breathe into centre, breathe out. Over we go to the side. Going to come down to the floor and up to the other side. And taking that in the opposite direction. Down towards the floor and up to the other side. Just warming ourselves up there. Circle the shoulders, up, back and down. Now take the feet hip distance apart and just move your weight into the sides of your feet, your toes, sides of your feet, heels, and just start to feel your feet grounding down and changing that into some nice large hip circles. And then taking that in the opposite direction. Feel that weight transferring over every corner of your foot, activating, ready to start grounding down to help you with your practice today. And this practice assumes that you're in good health without any underlying health conditions. But if you have got any health conditions or if you are expecting a baby, please just seek some further guidance. And as I'm not with you face to face, to make some modifications. I'm just going to take our hips up one side and then the other. Have a little pedal through the feet if you want to. Just making that a slightly more dynamic movement. So I'm going to introduce a little bit of flow into the Hatha Yoga today. Just take it at your own pace. As ever, listen to your own bodies. And if I invite you to do something that doesn't feel right for you today, just take it back another stage and do what feels right for you. So your feet are comfortably close together, the toes facing forward. You can take your heels out slightly wider if you'd like to. And we're going to breathe the shoulders up to the ears, relax them back and down, arms relax at your side. Imagine that there's an invisible thread from your head to the ceiling, drawing you up as strong, as tall as a mountain. Take your breath into your tummy Inflate your belly, bring that breath up to the breadth of your rib cage, all the way up to your collarbones. Hold it there for a heartbeat or two if you'd like to. And breathe out through your nose, emptying your chest, emptying your rib cage, emptying your tummy, letting everything soften and sink. And then breathe your arms up into upward salute, relaxing the shoulders back and down, reaching up through the fingertips as if you're trying to touch the ceiling. Lift your chest to the ceiling, stay there if that's enough for you, or if you'd like to, you can take your gaze up toward your thumbs. If you'd like to take that a step further, I invite you to come up onto your tiptoes, breathing into those fingertips, reaching them up to the ceiling. And then dropping the heels, we're coming straight back down into a half forward bend. So just to your thighs if that's enough for you, or towards your shins. And we're breathing in to prepare lengthening our spine from the crown of our head to the tip of our tailbone. Drawing our belly button back to our spine and breathing out and coming forward into a full forward bend. Just seeing where your body takes you today and accepting that that's where you've got to. And if your hands aren't onto the floor, you might like to hold opposite elbows and just have a little rock here from side to side, very gently. Just seeing how that feels for you. As you breathe out, see if your chest maybe comes a little closer to your legs. And then take a nice deep bend in your knees. Bring your chest all the way down, as close to your legs as you can. And then as we breathe in, just going to sweep the arms back up to upward salute. Coming towards straight legs, coming back to a back bend if that feels appropriate for you. And back up straight and push the air away as you circle your shoulders. Then we're going to take our feet out, hip distance apart, breathe in nice and tall. As we breathe out, coming back to a nice long spine in a half forward bend. Breathing into lengthen further, and as we breathe out, just coming down. So if your hands don't come to the floor, you might like to take a gentle bend in your knees to get you there. We're going to lift the toes, pop the fingertips under our toes. Breathe in and lengthen. As we breathe out, just see if you can bend the elbows and encourage your body to come closer to your legs. The legs can be straight but not locked. Just pull up out of your knee with your thigh. Or you can have a gentle bend to get you to the floor. And this is gorilla pose. Feel free to make the gorilla noises if you want to. Then unhook the fingers, take a deep bend in the knees, bring your chest to the legs. Breathe in to prepare. Breathe yourself all the way back up into upward salute and push the air away. We're going to come out into a wide leg position now, so towards your leg length, distance apart. Nearly went then. Your feet are parallel and facing forward. And just give your hips a little wriggle in that position to loosen everything up. And now I'm going to turn the foot out on your left side 90 degrees. Check back in the hip with the hips if they're comfortable. to be facing forward. Going to breathe the arms up to shoulder height, reaching through those fingertips as if you're trying to touch the opposite walls. Turn your gaze out over the out-turned foot. Breathe in to prepare, breathe out, bend into that knee. So you want the knee over your ankle, checking that you can still see your toes, and bring the knee back slightly towards your little toe. Breathe in through the strength of this warrior position. So you should be able to feel the outside edge of this back foot as well, really active. And you might find you can breathe in, and as you breathe out, you can sink your hips down a little lower. Just see what feels right for you today. Coming out of this at any time if you need to, or we're going to turn the palms to face forward. Going to kick the hip a little and slide the shoulders a little. Breathe in to prepare, and as we breathe out, we're just hinging over, keeping this top shoulder back, coming down to wherever your body takes you today. So that might be your thigh, that might be your shin, it may be the floor. If you're down, make sure this top shoulder is back with the arms stacked above the shoulder. You can take your gaze up towards that hand if you want to. Just do what feels right for you. You're going to breathe in to prepare. As we breathe out, just bringing that arm and turning the body to come over that leg with a hand either side. Turn the back foot down and drop the knee. And just coming forward into a low lunge. Just feel that lovely stretch. If you'd like to take that a step further, you can bring both hands into the inside of that leg. Let the knee flop out to the side of the mat. Breathe in to prepare, and as you breathe out, just bend those arms. See if you can bring your body a little closer to the mat, coming down wherever feels right for you today. Just letting that knee flop out to the side, but keeping the foot grounded on the mat. Keep breathing in that position, feeling that lovely stretch. And then gently bring yourself back up. Bring your hands to either side of the foot, tuck the toes on the back foot, push yourself up. And just see if you can come towards a straight leg on the front leg and bow your body down. And then gently walk the feet in and come back up and shake that out for a moment. Well done. Back out into a wide leg position towards your leg length apart. Just give the hips a little wriggle again. Take the foot out 90 degrees on the right hand side. Check back in with your hips. Breathe your arms up to shoulder height. Reach through those fingertips. Take your gaze out over that out-turned foot. Breathe in to prepare. As you breathe out, bend that knee. Try to stack that knee above the ankle. Check back in with your arms. Check with the strength of the warrior position. Your weight in the outside edge of the back foot. Keep breathing in that position, feeling the strength. You might find on the next out breath you can sink your hips down a little more. Just listen to your own bodies. Turn the palms to face forward, kick the hip a little, slide the shoulders a little. Breathe in to prepare, and as you breathe out, windmilling over, coming down to wherever your body takes you today. Check the top shoulder is back with the arm stacked above the shoulder. Keep breathing in that position. And then breathe the arms down. either side of your foot. Turn the back foot, drop the knee. Come down into a low lunge. Feel that lovely stretch. Stay there if that's enough for you, or you can take the hands both on the inside. Let the knee flop out to the side. If you want to, you can take that a little further by bending those arms, just coming down to wherever feels right for you today. Keep breathing in that stretch. Lovely, and then gently come up, hands either side of the leg. Tuck the toe on the back foot and then breathe yourself back up and see if you can straighten the front leg, bowing your body down. Gently coming back up, walking the feet in and shake that through. Well done. So we're going to come into some balancing now. So we're going to do a balancing upward salute. So we're going to start off with our feet comfortably close together. Breathe in nice and tall, breathe out. Keep lengthening your spine, coming down to a half forward bend. Breathe in to lengthen, breathe out, coming all the way down. So if your hands don't come to the floor, you might like to take a bend in your knee to get you there, that's fine. We're going to end up bending both knees anyway. And then we're just going to breathe in to prepare, and as we breathe out, we're taking the weight over into the leg on the left hand side. I'm going to lift the other foot and bend the knee up behind you. Then we're going to bend the standing leg. So if this one's too much for you, you can obviously drop the foot at any time. Or we're going to breathe in to prepare. As you breathe out, we're just going to push ourselves up all the way into an upward salute. In this balancing position, reaching through those fingertips and gently coming down. Well done. Breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, fold. Half forward bend, keeping that length from the crown of your head to the tip of your tailbone. Breathe in, lengthen, breathe out, fold. Taking a gentle bend in your knees if you need to get your hands to the floor. If not, we're having both legs straight at the moment. And we're breathing in to prepare, taking our weight over to the leg on the left hand side. Bringing our balance into that leg, and then we're going to lift the toe and bend the leg of the free leg, bend the knee of the standing leg, breathe in to prepare, breathe out, push ourselves all the way up into an upward salute with a balance. Keep breathing in that position, reach through those fingertips. And gently come out and shake it through. Wonderful. So we're going to come into another balance now. So we're just going to bring the weight into the leg on the I'm mirroring, so I've got to think about the opposites. Bring the weight into the leg on the left hand side. And we're just going to start to do our slow motion running man. So if you can, keeping the balance, keeping that toe away from the ground, but if you need to, stepping down at any point. Lovely, last one. And this time I'm going to take the knee out to the side. I'm going to pop one elbow on there with Gaya Mudra hands. We'll take the other arm up and take our gaze up towards that top hand if we can. Just feeling that balance of that position and gently coming out and shaking that through. Well done. Bringing the weight over onto the left hand leg now, helping with our balance, starting our slow motion running man. Whoop. Just draw your belly button back towards your spine to help with your balance. Set your gaze on something that isn't moving. That will also help with your balance. Do as many of these as feels right for you. Taking a rest at any point. Popping your leg down at any point. Last one, and sweeping the knee out to the side. Pop an elbow on, raise the other arm. Having a wobble on this side. Perseverance, get there in the end. And coming out and shaking. And we're coming over into all fours to start with. So we're going to have our knees under our hips and our wrists under our shoulders. And let's just have some good practice first of all with our positioning for our back and our shoulders. So imagine that you are dialing your hands out this way. So you're not physically doing that. If I just show you the difference. If I round my back and I don't have any activation in my hands, you can see what happens to my upper spine. If I dial my hands out, that brings my wrists in together and that gives me a nice flat upper back, which is much more healthy for you. So just see if you can do that. So we're going to start off with some cat-cow breathing. So as we breathe in, just want you to take your heart forward, your head up, your belly sinks down, your hips push away. As you breathe out, you round and shorten. Breathe in, sink, and your heart forward. And I'm just going to take this into a dynamic movement, so you can follow me if you want to. I'm going to drop my bottom to the floor, my head to the floor. And I'm squeezing forward to come up. Breathing out, rounding. Breathing in. Breathing out. And in. Last one. Lovely, and then we're going to relax back into an extended child's pose. So the hands push away from you, the bottom sinks down, you're relaxing your head towards the mat. So when you're having restorative breaths in the practice, if your head doesn't come to the mat, you might just like to cross your arms, and then you'll have to reach out to prepare for the next move. And take your feet out hip distance apart and tuck your toes under. And we're going to breathe and prepare reaching those hands away And as we breathe out, we're pushing up into our downward facing dog. If that's too much for you, you can keep your knees down and you can just push up into a half dog. If you're up, you're going to start to try and sink the weight down into your heels. So let's have a pedal through our feet, changing our weight from one leg to another and stretching out our hamstrings. Trying to sink our heels down towards the mat. If your heels are coming easily to the mat, you might have your feet down too close. You just might be excellent on either or, but it should be a challenge to get your heels to sink down. So you might want to adjust your spacing. Anytime you want to, you can drop your knees, come down into an extended child's pose and rest this position. But we're going to continue, and we're going to take the leg furthest away from me on an out breath up towards the ceiling into a three-legged dog. And as we breathe out, we're just hovering it over the mat, bringing it towards the centre of our hands. Breathe in, take it back up again. As we breathe out, we're bringing that knee down towards our elbow on the same side. Breathe it back up again. And as we breathe out, we're just going to twist, drop our hip, try and bring the knee towards the opposite elbow. Breathe it back up again. And then we're just going to take that foot down, drop the knees, relax back into an extended child's pose. Take as much time in this position if you want to. You might like to circle your wrists in one direction and then the other, just to give them a little rest. When your hands are down on the mat, try and have a little bit of space in the palm of your hand, so all 5 fingertips are pressing into the mat. Your whole hand is active. You're taking less pressure onto your wrists. Reach those hands away. Get your feet back, hip distance apart. Tuck the toes in. Breathe in to prepare. As you breathe out, push yourself back up into downward facing dog. Pedal that through. Each time sinking the weight down to the heels. Transferring the weight from one leg to the other. And now we're going to breathe the leg nearest me up. As we breathe out, we're just bringing it through, hovering it above the mat towards the middle of the hands. Holding there for a couple of heartbeats, breathing it back up. Bring that knee towards the elbow on the same side. Breathe it back up. And now we're going to try and drop the hip. Bring that knee to the opposite elbow or towards it. And breathe it back up. Bring it down. Drop the knees. This time coming back into a full child's pose. So bring your arms down beside you with the backs of the hands on the mat. And then we're just going to circle those wrists again, one way and then the other. Lovely, well done. Take the feet back out, hip distance apart. Reach the arms away. We breathe in to prepare. As we breathe out, we're just pushing back up again into our down dog. Bend both the knees this time. Bring your chest towards your legs. Sink the heels. Trying to keep the chest as close to your legs as you can. Your weight, bring your heels down towards the mat. Really feeling the strength and all the benefits of this down dog position. And then we're just going to bring our heart forward and our shoulders over our wrists into our plank position. Keep breathing in that position, coming out of it at any time if you need to, taking a rest in between postures if you need to, drawing your belly button back to your spine. If you want to take this a step further, we invite you to twist your feet around so you're coming up into a side plank, and then you're just lifting that top hip to the ceiling. Take your arm up if you want to. If you want to take that a little further, open your chest to the ceiling. Keep breathing in that position, keep strong in that position. And then gently coming over and swapping sides. Just getting your balance there. Starting to open up. Make sure the top hip is pushing up towards the ceiling. The arms stacked above the shoulder. Open up your chest to the ceiling if you want to, with more of a twist. And coming back over, dropping the knees, extended child's pose. Well done. Strong planks there, if you got there. Really well done. So take some nice restorative breaths there. Just letting everything soften and sink. And hands and feet back out, hip distance apart, hands reaching away from you again. Breathe in to prepare, tuck the toes, breathe yourself back up into downward facing dog. Another pedal through those feet, dropping the weight down into the heels. Bend both the knees, bring the chest closer to the legs, straighten the legs. Keep breathing in that position, draw your belly button back up towards your spine. And this time remembering to dial our hands out so our elbows hugging towards us. We're just going to take our weight forward, start to lower our knees, starting to come down into chaturanga. So imagine you've got to go under a gate, back up again, either into cobra with a bent arm, or up into upward facing dog. Only taking your neck back if it's strong. If not, just having a gentle back bend. Lovely. And lower our forehead to the mat. Take our arms down by our sides. Take our head to one side in prone position. And just let everything relax for a moment. Take some lovely, deep, restorative breaths. And then we're going to bring our hands back on the mat, our forehead on the mat if it's comfortable for you. If that's uncomfortable, you can use your chin. So that our hands are beside our face, elbows are hugging into our sides. Breathe in to prepare. As we breathe out, we push ourselves up into a mini cobra. Deep bend in the arms. And back down again. Breathe in to prepare. Breathe out. So you can come up into a stronger cobra. So the arms have still got a slight bend. You come up a little higher. Breathe into centre as you breathe out. Hiss over one shoulder. Breathe into centre as you breathe out. Hiss over the other shoulder. Breathe back to centre. Bring your head back down to the mat. Bring your hands a little closer to your chest. Still tucking those elbows in, dialing the hands out. Breathe in to prepare, and as you breathe out, push up to a straight arm into upward facing dog. So your hips will come off the mat, just sink the weight down. Take your head back only if your neck is strong. Feel that lovely counter stretch of a back bend. Sink those hips down more. Breathe into any areas of tension. And then we're going to tuck the toes. Push back up into our downward facing dog. One last cycle, pedaling through. And this time I'm going to breathe in. I'm going to take that knee forward towards the opposite elbow, and then see if we can push that leg away slightly, hovering it above the floor. Bring that back. Breathe in to prepare. Take the other knee forward towards the opposite elbow, so you can take that leg away from you and bring it back. Lovely. And then we're going to drop our knees. See if you can take your knees towards the outside edge of your mat and bring your feet together. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, just see if you can relax your body down a little towards the mat. Getting a lovely hip stretch. Breathe yourself up. So very well done if you stuck with me on that one, and we did a lot of work there on our wrists, and our wrists might already be tired if any of you are working from home or you're on your keyboards. So I'm just going to show you a couple of wrist exercises now. So if you pop your hands together in prayer position, and then if you roll the backs of your hands together, the fingertips will come towards you, and then the fingertips will point down to the floor. The fingertips will point away from you, and then you open the palms to face down to the floor before coming back into heart center. So do a couple of those. So open like the pages of a book, roll the backs of the hands together, bring the fingertips towards your body, down to the floor, away from you, open your palms to the floor, back to prayer. Backs of the hands together, fingertips come towards you, down to the floor, away from you, palms to the floor. So I'm just going to do another version of that now, the reverse pretty much. So hands into prayer position, palms of the hand to the floor, backs of the hands together, fingertips coming towards you, fingertips up to the ceiling, fingertips away, hands out like a book, back into prayer position. So palms down to the floor, backs of the hands together, fingertips towards you, fingertips up to the ceiling, fingertips away, hands back into book. And last one. Palms to the floor, fingertips down to the floor, fingertips towards you, fingertips up, open like a book, and back into prayer position. Hopefully that's helped stretch out your wrists, and have a lovely day. Take care.